Fable essentially is a index ecosystem that allows for users that end up on Berachain looking for gaming to easily find all of the games, or most of the games that are building on the Berachain ecosystem that have partnered with us, and have access and be able to directly find all of the games that are right there, their NFTs that are associated with it, and be able to play those games without searching, crypto Twitter endlessly to find all the games that are that are on Berachain.
Yo, BM, we're back with another banger Berachain Eco project. Today we're diving deep into the world of gaming, lore, and decentralized media with none other than Zander. He is the co-founder of Fable Platform. This is BlockHunters Voices, the podcast with cool kids from the blockchain space. I'm your Kim Vuj, host. Zander, welcome my man. Great to see you again.
Hey, BM, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I love your show, and I look forward to today being able to do this interview with you.
Great, Zander. Before we dive into everything Fable and Fable's journey, I really would love to hear a bit about your background.
Yeah, absolutely. So my journey starts a few years ago, as does many other founders in the space. Our earliest journey began in a project called Rome, Houses of Rome, which was an Olympus DAO fork that was kind of wrapped in a gaming bubble. Right? High APYs, the degen of most degen APY yields 69,000 or something crazy, right? And it just attracted tons and tons and tons of users. And, while we were a part of that project, as it was a DAO, what happened was they were building their own game, but they encouraged the community to develop and design their own side games, right? Mini games or other experiences that could be a part of that ecosystem. And my team, Animus Labs, at the time was one of the few that were willing to do so. So we put up a proposal to develop and design a Roman-themed chess game to go along with Rome. And we designed that game and pushed that game out. I think in probably 2 months, we had a open for anybody to play multiplayer chess game. And it was animated. It was awesome. It allowed people to. It was kind of like if you remember in Harry Potter where they had the animated chess pieces that would break upon each other. It was like that, but we designed it for this game, and we had so much fun doing it. I put together this ragtag team of developers and artists, and it was a blast. And from that point, it was okay, well, can we build something as a deeper experience? So we put up a proposal to design and develop a gladiatorial combat game. At which point, sadly, Rome was going through turmoil as the bear market was starting to kick off and everything was going to zero fast. Rome decided to, liquidate the treasury and give everybody a redemption on their token holdings. And the project ultimately sunset and went down. At which point, I looked around at the team that I had developed, and all of us decided we didn't want to stop developing there. That wasn't the end for us. So we were hey, why don't we create a contract development team, a studio under Animus Labs, and continue to develop for other teams. So we did. We set out. We started looking for contracts all over the space. And in the middle of the bear market, everyone and their mom was wanting to develop and build something that could be successful come the next bull, right? So we took on contracts left and right. We started building for big projects, small projects. We started building 2 projects on Treasure DAO, and we started loving it. We started loving developing games for other teams, so much that once we started developing on Treasure DAO, there was a project called Smithy DAO or Smithonia that we actually ended up taking over from the founders of that project, who were feeling the pressure of the bear market, not being able to pull in funds or successfully launch anything. So we started taking that project over, and we started moving closer and closer to saying, okay, well, maybe we should start building our own thing. It was probably 2022, late 2022, early 2023. We started meeting with some teams from Berachain, and we started hearing rumblings of there being an actual chain. Some of the teams that we were meeting with were Berachain and Berachain. And so we started working with Berachain at their earliest stages, and we're a contract development team for them as they were starting to really build up their IP and what the game was going to be. And they brought us on to help them kickstart the game's development, which started off as 2.5D pixelated, cute, chubby little bears running around on a pixelated map. And ultimately, to what it led to today is super impressive. We worked with them for about a year and a half or so, helping them really build the bare bones and MVP, if you will, and help them get something structurally sound. And we enjoyed that journey working with them until about March of 24. They started their own studio and decided, hey, we're going to continue the development on our own. To have been working with Berachain and their team was an incredible journey for us, and it was a great intro into working on Berachain projects, and we truly loved it. Simultaneously, we started working with Berachain, which was going to be originally a 3D RPG. It's expensive to develop games, so we helped them start the early stages of Gem Hunters, which again kind of branched into what Gem Hunters is today. We were just the contract studio for both those teams. We did not develop the IPs. Those are solely their IPs. We just picked up the contracts and helped them kind of kickstart those journeys, which gave us our own unique journey into Berachain and allowed us to kind of flourish and make relationships quite easily in the ecosystem, give us a bit of a name in the ecosystem, and ultimately what led me to start and create Fable.
For those unfamiliar with Fable, can you break it down in simple terms?
Yeah, so Fable essentially is a indexed ecosystem that allows for users that end up on Berachain looking for gaming to easily find all of the games, or most of the games that are building on the Berachain ecosystem that have partnered with us, and have access and be able to directly find all of the games that are right there, their NFTs that are associated with it, and be able to play those games without searching, crypto Twitter endlessly to find all the games that are that are on Berachain. Well, for the gaming side.
For the gaming side, and what were the biggest influences that really shaped your vision for Fable along all this time? I mean, I would only imagine that you have some pre-crypto influences as well.
Yeah, so gaming for most of us is such a large part of our lives, whether whether it's just when we're growing up or now that we're adults, we still enjoy some of these titles and get a chance to play them. So for me, I would say Steam was a large influence in what we're doing and what we're trying to accomplish within Web3. And then something else I would say is within Web3, Treasure DAO is definitely something that influenced what we wanted to do and what we wanted to become for the Berachain ecosystem. Was this nice, easy to use gaming platform where you can find countless games and have access to those games right there. Simple, no hard searches, and just being able to find and plug in and start playing.
But Fable is also for gamers and creators. Can you expand a little on that?
Yeah, so when I set out to do Fable, even the naming of it, it was so critical that we understand and that we try to portray to people that gaming, books, movies, songs, everything is all about the story that underpins them, right? It's the lore that's underneath it, whether it's DeFi or PFP projects, whatever it is. It's all about the lore and the story that's being told. And I think that's why some of the most successful games have been so successful, is because the ability to storytell connects with their users in such a raw emotional way that I wanted to build something that allows creators to take a hold of that and be creative on the platform, aside from just game creatives, right? Because designing, developing, publishing, and getting games out there is hard work. It takes a lot of money, a lot of effort, and a decently like experienced team to do that, right? So on Fable, we wanted to let people be able to create lore stories and publish them on our platform permissionlessly and effortlessly, whether it's promoting their crypto project, right? Could be Pudgy Penguins. Someone comes in and creates a cute story about a Pudgy Penguin. It could be a game that's building on Fable's platform that wants to deepen the lore of their project. And this allows for creatives to come in and build and develop that story a little further and a little deeper than just pushing it on crypto Twitter, right? It gives something digitally a little more tangible.
Berachain right now it has, let's say, 1 month of mainnet. What exactly is the state of the platform right now?
So the platform is pretty bare bones right now. You have the ability to go on the website, check it out a bit, and see which games are launched and live and ready to play. Right now, about half of the games that we've partnered with are live. So it's not a whole lot. It's out of the 14 that are on there, maybe 6 or 7 is live currently to play. The NFT marketplace is almost finished. So the NFT marketplace obviously is just going to allow for players of those games to easily access the NFTs that are associated with them. And then also from the platform, obviously, you're going to be able to grab your other favorite Berachain NFTs or Arbitrum NFTs directly from the marketplace. So it's pretty bare bones until the lore engine is completed and until the marketplace that's going to allow for the minting and everything the no-code minting and all of that to take place for the books and everything else.
And what kind of games are available right now and will be available at when the time is right?
Yeah, so I mean, as of right now, we have games like Underground Waifus is available right now. There is, there's a number of them that are able to be played right now. Let's see. Sorry. Berachain is available right now. Gacha Wars is available right now. Underground Waifus, Berachain Catcher, and then Outpost Surge has like their beta testing, and then Horse also is getting ready to start some testing as well. So those games are going to be accessible directly from the platform currently. We have Gem Hunters who we're partnered with that we're working on getting their page completely set up. Berafarm as well is getting set up. B-Racer and Berachain are also in the works of getting set up and being playable directly from the platform.
And how do you plan to enhance the discovery and the distribution of the games on Berachain?
Yeah, so a lot of the games that are coming out, I think working with co-marketing is how we help bring visibility to some of these games. And then obviously doing some play testing in our Discord or maybe going live on Twitter is how we're going to manage to bring in more users, more players, more visibility to our platform alone. And then as we get closer to TGE and explaining a little more of our tokenomics, I think that's when we'll start to incentivize the player base and time spent on the platform, time spent on partners' games, and giving an additional incentive to help reward players for helping us grow the gaming ecosystem within Berachain.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned earlier the lore engine. Can you tell us exactly what is the lore engine and what inspired you to build it?
Yeah, so the lore engine itself is designed and developed within Unity. So what we've done is we took our gaming development experience and decided to design and develop a new experience entirely on how people can interact with stories, mangas, novels, white papers, a number of use cases that we're looking to implement within the lore engine. And what it's going to do is create a permissionless method on how you can create these stories or how you can create these white papers and publish them to a broader ecosystem, right? So what we wanted to do was create the base on how lore can be developed and how it can be minted and published to the public. And we wanted to do so because we felt that there's so many creatives, there's so many artists, there's so many writers, there's so many musicians that have so much that they can contribute to projects, to, you know, these communities that they're a part of, but they don't typically have a way to do so within that community, right? So let's say
and they don't have the infrastructure.
Yeah. There's not the infrastructure to be able to provide talent. And like some of them they can create memes and they'll provide memes on crypto Twitter. And that's fantastic. And that's a great way to contribute to a project. But if these writers and these musicians could have a place where they can design together and they can cooperatively work on projects and design something that can deepen the lore of a project, I feel like that can take a connection point to the broader community, that they can digest this content and enjoy it endlessly, right? And they can continue to develop and create and use their creative abilities to tell stories. And it could be for, like I said, it could be for meme projects, right? Imagine like a mimetic story for Yeet that kept, each episode was about a different Yeet, or, you know, it could just be something really fun for these creatives and as a creative outlet. And a way for them to monetize that as well, and in their own discretion, right? We don't, you know, we're not going to decide what people charge for their lore stories or their meme stories. It's all up to them. If they have the community and the ability to promote it on their own platform on X or whatever community they've already fostered, it's up to them. It could be free mint, it could be something fun to do on the side, it could be fan fiction or whatever.
Will NFTs gonna have a role in this whole process?
Like our NFTs or
your NFTs, Fable's NFTs, yes.
Yeah, so you know, something that we're starting to introduce right now is our library card. So the library card will have the direct utility for the lore engine itself. So there'll be 500 library cards. It'll be a very small membership pass, but uniquely positioned to allow them, the minters or whoever buys them, to actually get free mints of everything that Fable Studios creates. So if we put out Anim or we put out Fable Chronicle books, you'll no longer have to pay for them. And then there's two versions of the library cards. There's a common library card, and then there's a rare library card. Depending on which one you hold, you'll earn passive yield. I don't want to say the percentage.
And the subscription model, basically.
Correct. Mm-hmm. It's a subscription model, but you only pay once, right? So it's a one-time thing. You pay once and you're going to get free mints for the longevity that you hold it, right? So whatever content is minted, you'll have access to. You'll obviously probably want to use a wallet that is like a secondary wallet, because if you're just getting free mints airdrop to you, you probably don't want that on your main wallet. But it could be educational content. We're talking with some DeFi protocols on Berachain on how to push education, how to teach about POL. Some people don't understand how to trade options or how to do perpetual trading. There's Ponzi's all over Berachain, and we want to create this educational section on how to understand and digest what these protocols are doing. That way, when someone comes into Berachain,
masterclass.
exactly. So we want to build out a huge educational section about POL and about DeFi in general that could teach kind of like, we could do like a DeFi for dummies, just like a very mimetic, teaching people the basics. And it's funny because we're building this protocol on Berachain when we all know that bears can't read, right? But at some point they're going to have to learn, And the fun part is, we're looking to do voiceover integration of AI for like 11 labs, so that people don't have to read it. If they don't want to, they could just hit play and let the book be read to them. We want to make this a fun interesting experience and not just like PDFs that are laid out on a web page that is just like a static kind of boring experience. White papers is something that I'm kind of like extremely bullish on myself, is changing the way that people interact with these white papers and how they digest the content of some of their favorite protocols.
Are people reading white papers anymore?
No,
I definitely don't.
Well, that's the thing, is like people don't, and then they buy the token and they're like, I don't even know what the protocol does, and they just like, you know, yeet into the project not knowing what it does. But if we can change that and change the experience, and it's not just like some boring PDF stored on like no shade, but stored on like Gitbook, where founders like myself are spending $150 a month just to store our white paper. But I can create a platform that a founder can come to us and do like a one-time, you know, $25 fee. And now it's stored on our platform forever. And it's this interactive experience that they can click through the tabs and actually learn what they want to learn about the projects, whether it's solely just the tokenomics or what the actual project does. I think there's an enticing, interesting aspect to what we're trying to accomplish with that. And it definitely allows for us to go to the broader market and say, hey, why are you spending $150 a month just to store something somewhere where people probably aren't reading it anyway, when you can come to us, give your users and your readers a whole new experience and how to digest this content that could be a lot more fun, a lot more branded to your protocol. It can have videos, sound, right? A lot more can be done with what we're attempting to do.
Multimedia experience.
Correct.
So right now we know what the Fable NFTs play in the whole ecosystem, but tell me about the lore token. I mean, what is going to be its utility? What's the long-term vision? I'm not going to ask you when we're going to expect TG, because the market is bad. So, but just what can we expect about the lore token?
Yeah. So the lore token, we want to find many use cases within some partners' games who don't want to introduce a token. So we don't. If anyone who's listening right now is familiar with the Treasure DAO ecosystem, lore token, we want to be similar to that, right? Is allowing for that token to be used and traded on the marketplace that we're developing and designing, allowing for the lore token to be used as incentivization tokens for gaming and within some of our partners' games, allowing for the lore token to be the token that's used to mint the lore books on the Fable platform. So those three outlets, I think, will give some decent utility to begin with. Obviously, with POL, we can supercharge that and allow for the max Ponzonomics to kind of take place and creating our own vaults and things like that. So you can expect some of the traditional use cases from like Berachain native projects, as well as some of the use cases that we're trying to bake directly into the platform with some of our, multimedia experiences that we're creating.
We talked a little bit earlier about the lore engine, and you guys actually started testing and building with the lore engine, the anime, the first on-chain manga. What inspired you to do this? Why anime IP on-chain?
So, growing up, I was a giant anime and manga fan. And, to this day, I still love going back, watching Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, the new ones, Solo Leveling. There's so many good ones out there. And just like when we started developing games, what 30-year-old founder doesn't want to be responsible and have, a hand in developing games or anime, things that they loved growing up. And, with building the Fable platform, to me, it just made sense to try to work on our own IPs. And Anim inherently made sense to me. It was a story that I've had in my mind for years now. And the idea was to create a story that connects the world of the blockchain with the manga storytelling abilities, right? And find this crossroad. We have IPs like Azuki's who have brought this major anime IP to the blockchain and gave this connection of anime and manga fans across the world and brought them together with the power of Web3 community building. And that was something that I loved. And so what we wanted to do was create a story and an IP that can connect with the Web3 readers. And the storytelling ability of using manga is such a great way to connect with the broader ecosystem, right? There's so many people within Web3 that love anime, and the connection point between the users of Web3 and the viewers of anime, I imagine, is just tremendous. So with what we're building with Fable, it just made sense to create a manga that can exist within the platform and be held as an NFT, right? And the story of Anim, it's funny because what I wanted to do was almost chronologically tell the story of Animus Labs, which was our gaming studio, but then do it as a historically speaking way of telling the unfolding of crypto and Bitcoin, right? And it's a story that we as Web3 fans are all too familiar with, is the SEC and its, legal battles that it came after crypto for the last 4 or 5 years, the hacks that have taken place all over the space, and the hundreds of millions of dollars that have been stolen. All of these things will end up in the Anim story, and it'll be things that we as Web3 fans can connect to while reading the manga, and have this like connection point between what's happening in the story and being like, oh, this is cool. What a cool way to unfold what really happened, but do it in a fictional storytelling way. So I love the way that we're going to be able to do this, and it's going to be a unique way to connect with readers and connect with fans of anime and manga at large.
Yeah, I mean, it actually makes total sense that if you build your own infrastructure, you're gonna make your childhood dream come true with your own infrastructure, right?
Yeah. So, and also I feel like it's a good way for us to lead the charge. So we do have a number of partners that are ready to go and launch with us, that are manga partners, right? They already created their own IPs. They've already designed and developed their own mangas. And they were I feel like once we presented Fable's lore engine to them, they were like, how has this not existed yet? This is great, because ultimately what the lore engine is a distribution publishing platform, right? It allows them to distribute to the wider Web3 industry, and cutting out all the red tape of the traditional publishing arena, right? So it's such a unique way for us to lead the charge of doing so and saying, hey, this is what's possible and able to be done on the platform, by showing how we can do live sound within it with event-based sound, showing that some panels of the manga can have subtle animations and change that reader's experience completely from a static manga that they might be used to reading. And then we can split that, right? Some people might want the traditional experience where there's no sound, and that they want it static, right? So you can cut off
just the PDF.
Yeah, you could just cut off the animation mode, and now you just have a static one. And if you're more of like a simplistic style reader, you can have that, right? Or you can give much more of an exciting experience. And I think it could be a really fun way to do this storytelling and kind of showcase to other creatives what's possible with the platform, which is ultimately why we created Anim as well.
Yeah, maybe at some point in time we are gonna connect Fable Platform with like Kindle or Apple Books or something, so we're gonna have like a much broader distribution.
100%. I mean, a big goal of ours is to really tap into Web 2 and some of the IPs that exist in the traditional manga world, and give them a distribution route into Web 3, which would also tap us into a whole new market of users. Obviously, on the roadmap is the ability to turn this into a downloadable application, so that this can be in everyone's pocket instead of just being on the web. Now they can take this around and read manga on the go instead of just scrolling on their phone to different panels. They'll actually be able to flip through the book itself and give a whole different experience. So it should be a lot of fun as we journey towards that.
Sounds good. I always like talking with founders that are early to medium stage, because that's where all the fun happens.
100%.
We talked a little about this in Denver. Do you plan to integrate AI tools into Fable?
Yeah, because how many people around the world have this really cool idea of a story or something, like maybe they read a book and were like, I like this, but like, what if it was like this, right? So the fan fiction mode would allow for people that are like, I have a cool way to change this, but what if I'm not artistic, or what if I'm not the best writer, right? So integrating some AI tools that would allow for, graphic generation and or written generation of text that would allow for someone who doesn't know how to structurally write a script or structurally write a novel to be able to do so and write a well-written story. I mean, the idea isn't to have a slush of a ton of like AI content. That's not what we're aiming for. We want quality content. That way, when readers come in, they find good quality stories. But this could allow someone who has a great idea to help structure it and make sure that it's as well written as possible throughout the process. So we definitely are looking to get some AI integration to make it easier for someone to develop and design on the platform.
Sounds really great, and I'm really looking forward. But I want to know what's next for Fable in the next 6 to 12 months, 1 year. What can you share with us?
Yeah, so within the next few months, the lore engine should be live and ready to go. Anim will be right as soon as the lore engine's live. Anim will be live and ready to be purchased and bought right on the platform. Along with currently we have 4 other partners that have mangas coming to the platform. So there's going to be a ton of for anime and manga fans, there's going to be a ton of content in that direction to come in and digest. We have a couple more partners that are looking to cook up newsletters and magazines, as well as like some novel stories that people are looking to write on the platform. So there's going to be a plethora of content to read and dive into on the lore engine. On the gaming side of things, we have a number of gaming partners that we're still working up partnerships with. So there's a lot of content that's ready yet to come and ready to be deployed and pushed on the platform. So we're looking to get the marketplace fully functional and ready for people to be able to buy their NFTs. So we're looking to create this ecosystem of one-stop shop of entertainment and making it easy for someone to come in and find what they're looking for and find something different outside of the typical Berachain high yield DeFi enjoyers. And we're looking to find people that are ready to like, hey, I want to play some games, or I want to sit down and read this manga because I just, restaked my tokens and now I just want to chill out and find something different. So as the next months unfold and we bring out more content and we have some new releases coming out, it'll be a lot of fun to showcase what we've been cooking up in the background. There's a new section that we're working on, which is Fable Films, and that'll allow for animated series to exist. And we have like some short form content, animated series that we're looking to release. So there's a lot of content, a lot of stuff that we've been working on as we've been developing over the last 8 to 10 months. And now for the next year, we're going to have a lot to show for it and a lot to introduce to the community as all of this kind of unfolds. Obviously, the lore token will be introduced in that time, so people will be able to speculate. That's like the short and skinny on the roadmap.
But since Berachain is an EVM chain, do you plan to expand the Fable ecosystem into other ecosystems as well?
Yeah, so I think with what we're building, for us, it made sense to start here. We're connected with a lot of the community and a lot of the projects. So growing like even the educational content is an easy intro into being able to sit down with some of these teams and saying, hey, like, let's build this out for you guys and get this out to the public. But as I look across to other chains like Abstract or Monad, there's so many memetics, there's so many teams and protocols building. We definitely want to be able to operate omni-chain. And for us, it's quite simple, right? Like it's a matter of allowing these books to be minted on a different chain and then pulling that chain's contracts into the platform and just allowing for that token gated experience to work on different chains as the lore engine's concerned. As far as the gaming engine is concerned, a little more infrastructure needs to be developed and designed when looking into allowing for other games from other ecosystems to exist. But it's definitely on the roadmap. It's definitely a part of the plan to make sure that we can allow for omni-chain expansion and other chains to kind of partake in the Fable ecosystem.
You've been in the space, you said 2022, you talked with Berachain, with Berachain, so you're basically an OG in this space. Can we expect any new collaborations or major updates to the community that should look out for? Any new partnerships with cool protocols out there?
Yeah, there's actually on Berachain, Underground Waifus is a TCG game currently on
What's
Berachain.
TCG? I'm not a gamer, so
that's okay. It's a trading card game.
Oh, okay.
So this game, it's fun to play. It's fast action, and it's in and out play modes. But their studio is absolutely juiced. These guys are incredible. So they introduced Underground Waifus just to get a game into the community's hands. All the while in the background, they've been cooking up this incredible game. I don't know if they've introduced a whole lot about it yet, but it's called Warlands. And in terms of MMORPGs, I haven't seen one in crypto that is at this level. So I am extremely bullish for this team. I'm extremely bullish for this product to come. And we're going to do spaces with them soon so that they can kind of be the ones to introduce and talk about it more. But I can't explain enough how bullish I am on them, their team. They're also introducing an IP and a manga with our platform that we're partnering up on them. I mean, the incredible team, based founders, extremely smart with how they're rolling out their products and working with the community and the overall Berachain ecosystem. Their founders are also OGs, big bear holders. I mean, I couldn't be more bullish on a team to partner with. Yeah, they're incredible.
You've made me bullish now.
Yeah. They have a product coming out that I don't think Web3 has had the pleasure of entertaining and having this type of gameplay at this high caliber yet. So super excited to work with them.
We are entering the last chapter of the podcast, and we want to wrap things up with some rapid fire questions to get a sense of where your head's at when it comes to crypto in general. But for these ones, just quick top of mind answers.
Okay.
What's the most underrated and overrated idea in crypto right now?
Overrated, I'm going to say AI. I think it's blown way out of proportion. I mean, there's nothing wrong inherently with AI. I think it has great use case and utilities. But the narrative caught hold, and now anything with the word AI in it is blowing up. So I definitely think that's overrated beyond a shadow of doubt. But underrated, I don't know. I think I'm going to go with lore. On-chain lore. We're underrated and not taken serious enough yet.
Top 3 most used crypto apps?
For me?
Yes.
Let's Bex, IVX, and right now I would say Infrared. I'm using those all 3 of those a lot right now.
Favorite video game of all time?
Monster Hunter.
I don't even know that.
The newest one just came out. Incredible Japanese IP. I mean, they actually have in Universal Japan, they have an entire section just made for that. Anyway, fantastic game title.
One key piece of advice would you give to crypto startup funders?
Keep going. Don't let the bull market, drag you down. Don't let it change your sentiment. Just keep building.
Favorite shit poster from the ecosystem?
Pemby or Janny.
Where can people follow Fable and stay updated?
They can go to our Discord, or just follow us on Twitter. They can follow me. They can follow Fable. They can follow Anim Series. All three of those keep updates and make sure that the content that we're working on is always updated.
Any final words for the Berachain community and Fable community?
Yeah, keep an eye out for us. I mean, we're building something that's never been done before. There's no forking, there's no copying of other protocols. We're trying to develop and design something that is useful to the broader community as a whole, but also to protocols as a way to like really teach and hone and educate their user base into their protocols. And when doing something unique, it's not the sexiest. We don't have high APYs, and I understand we're not that typical degen arena, but we're trying to design and develop something that is truly unique to the crypto space, that can bring entertainment value versus monetary value to the ecosystem, that can allow for anyone and everyone to kind of come in and take part in.
Yo, thank you very much, Zander. That's a wrap. Thanks for telling me all your journey for today.
Absolutely, man. I truly appreciate it. And thanks for having me again. It's been a pleasure.
Have a great one, brother.
Take care.